out. Shitloads of
All right.
videos about it. I've
Well,
watched quite a few.
here's my input. He's an idiot. All right, let's move on.
Let's move on. Next up.
Well, did you see that he strapped fucking the fire extinguishers to his jeans, to his legs?
I mean,
What does he think was he gonna take off like he's a fucking cartoon character?
No, he was probably
Mm.
doing it because his
Rocket
intention
power.
his intention was to land at the crash site, but he took too long making his little video. And
Right.
this all just
yeah.
comes down to one thing: he's an idiot.
Well,
Summarize our entire future conversation about this. I have
It's
already
talking-
summarized it.
He's talking about how he's an idiot though, and how he's gonna get punished for it.
Dude's gonna get locked the fuck up.
Hopefully.
If people want to know how other people are idiots, they just need to look in the mirror. Everyone's a fucking idiot. We all do stupid shit. Look in a
Facts.
mirror, like, oh yeah, I do some stupid shit too. Fuck.
Where's Lauren at? Dylan, have you talked to Lauren?
Dude, she was just in the call with us.
She was
and
just in there, bro.
Yeah, she decided to just not come over, and now she's
She's
not
just
even
in there. Yeah, no
she's
idea.
not in there anymore, is she?
I have no idea.
Yeah, she's not in there. She
Oh,
fucking
maybe she's
bailed,
not
dude.
doing podcasts. Maybe she's
Full
not doing
bail.
it tonight.
Probably practicing with the grapefruit.
Just do anything.
This is above her.
Yeah.
Sorry, boys.
I know what's probably above her.
Who's
Yeah, she's probably getting fucking railed. honestly.
Dylan, you going live or what?
Well,
Yeah, I'm live right now.
Is Caden still?
You are?
Is Caden
Yeah.
still like over?
Yeah, he's around.
Okay.
He's alive.
Did he? Does he still have his job? Y'all know?
I don't think so. I think they're just doing Instacart instead. I don't know. We could ask her if she was in
Fucking
here.
roadhead.
Where?
All right.
Yeah,
Another
that
thing
sounds
we could
awesome,
talk
dude.
about, because nobody's saying anything, is Blizzard. Activision.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Blizzard Activision. Activision Blizzard was bought out
What?
by Microsoft.
It's too early, man. What am I even gonna speculate about this?
They can
only
have-
There's two end game. It's they improve or they fucking fail more. Like
Well,
Here's
the
my take.
speculation.
My
Go ahead.
Microsoft can have all of the predatory and sexual assault companies they want under their belt. All right? Because we all know Blizzard
I
had
know.
some shit that went down. Activision has some shit that went down. Notoriously, both fucking companies have been involved in some scandalous shit recently. So, like, hey, if they want to take that, by all means. Sony doesn't want a part of it.
Sony hasn't released a fucking game for PS5 yet. Sony can't talk any shit.
I don't really give a
Sony
fuck.
hasn't done anything.
I'm not a
man. What do
Sony
you
fanboy.
mean?
I'm just saying they can have
Okay,
them all they
okay.
want.
Just saying. I mean, okay. So, first of all, if that shit was happening and yet they made a good game, I wouldn't mind. But they not only are they doing all this bullshit, but now they're also making a shit game. So they can't win on any front. Like if they made a good game, people would not be paying that much attention to the fucking.
People
shit
will
that's
also
come
just
out.
buy Call of Duty because it's fucking Call of Duty and all their friends are gonna play it because their friends are gonna
Yeah,
play
but
it.
that's Activision, not Blizzard.
True.
That's a different company, or like not.
Thank
different
you,
company,
Darkin.
but
Yeah,
different-
nothing
a
is gonna
different
change
wor-
when Call of Duty, even with the change of ownership. Yeah, yeah.
workshop
Call of Duty's gonna
that's
be Call of
working on
Duty.
that. There hasn't been shit on Activision or Activision side. It's all
In
Blizzard
terms of
related.
like,
Was it Blizzard?
sexual-
Okay, I could have
Well,
swore I
think-
thought something about there
I
was
think-
something with Activision.
I
Maybe,
think that
probably.
if these companies hire like one bad apple or one bad person that's willing to kind of like spill every single workplace like culture bad thing that happens, I think that's a lot of what happened at Blizzard. Because, go ahead.
I guarantee the culture was probably as bad or worse back in the day. It's just that they were successful back then, and so people didn't fucking care. They're all probably making bank, and nobody was gonna complain. But
Wolf of
like
Wall Street type shit, yeah.
Yeah, they're like this shitty corporate entity now, like that. That it's not this small. I mean, like Riot deals with bullshit all the time. They've had tons of shit come up, but nobody fucking cares because Riot is still making good
Fucking
games.
Riot. Yeah, I've heard
always
shit
more.
about Riot a few years ago
Like
too.
they're
Yeah.
making Arcane, and like all they have to do is make Arcane, and everybody's like, "Yeah, we love them." Like, who cares? Yeah, nobody fucking cares as long as you're creating a good product.
Anime
at the end of the
character
day.
look cool.
So you're saying you could be fucking sexually assaulting people, but as
Hey,
long as
are
you're making
people
good
still
games, you're
fans
chilling.
of Chris Brown?
Yeah.
People are still
Yeah.
fans
True.
of Chris Brown.
Exactly.
Okay,
People are
Thank
still
like
you.
fans of Chris Brown.
people are
Chris
still
Brown
fans
is
of
a
Ray Lewis,
bad,
Ben
shitty
Roethlisberger.
person.
Come on,
Chris Brown has like a list of shit that he's done that is
a whole
scummy.
list.
Nobody fucking like seems to give a shit because he puts out some good shit here and there.
I don't
the
really
fuck?
like his music, but
I don't fucking care for it either. But I mean,
Chris
he
Brown
still
beat
has
the
fans.
shit out of Rihanna. I better go buy his album really quick.
Mm.
And that's
Hey,
people's.
men are up, boys. Team men. Y'all see that?
What do you-
There's so
what?
many transgenders winning competitions now. Like it's all men now.
Yeah,
So
well,
Men are
that's-
all
winning
the-
everything.
Men are winning everything. We're up.
we're up. I don't think we're up.
We're not
Ugh.
up.
Good lord.
We want to talk about the status of man today.
The status of
good.
man? What are you talking
yeah,
about?
what is
What
the
did-
status of man in the hierarchy of the world?
Are you talking about like man as in like humans?
No. I'm talking about men versus women.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I know, right?
Why
'Cause
would
that's
we
a
do
topic.
this?
We don't have any women in this call.
This
though.
is not a
Well,
good look.
first of all, Lauren wouldn't count because
What
Lauren's just gonna
podcast
go
number
with
is
us.
this?
This is number
I'm back.
8.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Lauren
right.
would just agree.
Should I just do the introductions? I mean, fuck it.
Yeah, we already started, so we might as well.
Yeah. This
Yeah,
is
I
a
thought we were
lame
waiting
way.
for like somebody. But fuck, dude.
No, they're not coming. They're just gonna pretend
Yeah.
like they're not gonna say anything because they're fucking idiots.
All right. So let's go
What
ahead
are
and
you
get this
talking
thing
about? I'm not an
started.
idiot.
Welcome, my shiny boils and goyles, to the Diamond Dogs Liquid Mods podcast number 8. We don't have an echo machine, so there's no echo. But remember, 8, 8, 8, 8. Now put your paws together and chalk colors ready for our quick-witted, and he'll put your foot where his mouth is, Deja Vroom. If you wanted to invest and slap an ass in the same day, you get yourself, oh shit, he's not even here. He's not here. Fuck these guys. If you might be high, you might be drunk, or you might be snoring coke off a baby bear's ass and you think of a comeback to this guy, you got Shaw Shifter.
Dude, how did I know it was gonna be me? God damn.
Hide your NFTs, hide your coin, but your wife will be safe when Skeezer's around.
Your wife's safe.
And he'll insult you, he'll make fun of you, and he'll make you cry, but you're gonna love it. Give a hell yeah to Van.
Oh man.
I'm a big old man.
Hello.
And make sure you know where the devils grow, because this boy is hellishly sexy. You got Shaft Napkin.
They're gonna say hella slow.
Is that an empty bottle
Hello?
drink that I just read? That I just saw? What? Red? What am I?
Fiji.
Never mind.
Oh, we can't promote that. I'm sponsored
that's
by
right.
Fiji.
Sponsored by
Oh,
You're
Fiji.
shit.
sponsored by Fiji now. Great.
And,
Fuck.
and Champion Energy.
try it every time.
He's got so many big names. Oh my
I
god.
know. Oh shit! Don't look at him.
Don't-
I forgot to cover him up.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
welcome everybody to our 8th podcast. Thank you all for joining us here today. And we're going to be talking about some bullshit, just like we usually do. We're not interested in staying on topic, so please try
Fuck
to
that.
follow along
If you can.
if you
might not
can. Dude, we
Try
can't
not
even
to
stay
take
on
too much
topic.
of your night. Sometimes
number
it's
1.
1 minute. Sometimes it's 10 minutes. Sometimes it's an hour. Sometimes it's 4 hours. Good luck.
Bengals going to the Super Bowl. That's all I'm gonna say.
Uh,
They're gonna beat the Titans. They're gonna beat the Titans.
Show-
I know there's no other
you gonna
fucking football
show
fans
me?
in here, but I'm just gonna say they're gonna beat the Titans. This Saturday.
Okay.
That's what's up.
Titans and Bengals, huh?
Yeah.
So let's just skip these delusions of grandeur right now, and
Okay.
let's move on to that interesting topic that Skeezer brought up about, like, what is the positioning of men now in the world? Because, you know, whatever your opinion is on transgenders, there has been a lot of more transgenders joining like Olympic Games, and most of them have been just really railing the women really hard in a very
Mm.
non-sexual way.
Railing the women.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I
Men are
mean,
up. That's all I got to say about that.
what?
Well,
what-
let me
in
just
what
let me
sense?
just start this off. Do you think transgender men are women?
Nope.
Because that
First of
seems
all,
to
okay,
be a thing
I don't
right
give
now.
a fuck. I don't give a fuck unless they're shitting on women, and then it's a little scummy. Then my white knight kicks in, and I go, "How dare they take this win from thine women?" And I have to fight for their honor because it's what's in my nature. So
Mm.
like, if there's some dudes going, "Hey, check this out," and they're just fucking stomping on women in women's sports, I mean, they have to understand that that is like a reality of their existence, is that they're probably in a better state to dunk on those fucking women, and they should have, first of all, if they don't have
Excuse me.
the respect to not do that and to shit on them, they're kind of shitty people. Because that's just rude.
What do you think, Chef? Do you think transgender men are women?
I think that a man is man and a woman is woman.
How do you think what do you think about them being in women's sports?
I think that
See if I can do this.
It's fucked.
Sorry, talking out loud.
that's all I got. I just think that like you can dress yourself up as much as you want on the outside to make you appear whatever way that makes you feel good about yourself. And I will not judge you. You can do whatever you want. But at the end of the day, what is your DNA is your DNA.
So do you think they're just like biologically men and women, or do you think there's like some kind of like mental component behind it? Like they actually do believe that they are
Like,
women.
You mean disorder?
Yeah.
I don't know, to be honest. There's so much shit like that now. Like there's a term for everything nowadays.
I think it plays in the same vein as if I were to say I am a blonde. Like I'm not a fucking blonde.
Right.
Like I can dye my hair blonde and I can pretend like I've been blonde
Have you
and I
seen
can
the
do all this
But
stuff. But at the
aren't
end
you a
of the day,
strawberry blonde though?
technically, that's what I like to say. It makes me sound cute.
Yeah, aren't
It
you
makes-
strawberry
it makes
blonde
it
though?
sound- It makes it sound better. But okay, well that's like
He's an
semantics
exotic
between the
man,
argument.
ladies and gentlemen.
Obviously I'm a ginger. Like there's no getting around it. Like, and so if I were to start saying that I'm not, and like I just never felt like I was, like it's it's
Mm.
antithetical to reality. Like there's a point where you have to accept reality, and if you are going against it, and let's say I do just dye my hair all the time, and I'm always like showing myself as blonde, you probably just think of me as blonde because I'm doing it. But if I were to say I'm a blonde, natural blonde,
Mm.
like then you're like, what? No, you're not. Like you're not a natural blonde. Like, but you don't care that they're doing it. It's just that it's the lie. The part that fucks with people is the lie of saying that
think-
it's one thing.
I think that's
Mm.
too simple. Imagine if in your brain we had the letter M or F deep
It's not-
down in our
it's-
brains. Imagine if we had M or F stamped in our brain somewhere. What if somebody born as a male with male parts was born, but was born with a brain with an F on it? Wouldn't
Listen,
you?
you're
and-
saying
and
the exact same thing I am. You're
I don't-
saying
I
the
don't
exact
think
same thing I am.
because
If
what you're
if
saying
in my
is, like-
mind I thought that I was blonde, but I'm not, and I constantly did everything in my power to change that and make that a reality, you're saying it's too simple, but that's exactly what it is. Like it doesn't matter that my brain tells me that. It's the reality that it appears. Like
I'm
that
saying
matters.
that's too simple because like there's evidence to prove that your hair is clearly not blonde.
And there's
Yeah.
evidence to prove that you're a man or a woman. You have a penis or a vagina. Like,
Yeah,
That
but
is
you
the
could feel
definition.
like a woman.
Yeah,
You what?
then I feel like a blonde. That it's the same
But
thing.
I don't think
But
that makes
feeling
as
like a
much
blonde
sense.
and feeling like a woman doesn't make you blonde and doesn't make you a woman. Just because you feel that way. That's where the argument is it's being conflated between feelings and reality. You can
I-
feel like whatever you want all day long, but at the end of the day, if you have a dick between your legs, you are a man. That's just the way it is.
Right, biologically, but you could
Yeah,
feel like a woman.
you are defined as a
Mhm.
male.
But you still have to contend with the reality. That's what I'm saying. Like there's like that.
but so okay, but are
The-
you guys like kind of like against like changing your body to match what you think you are?
I think I think overall, yes. I would say that about girls that get tit jobs. I don't think they should. Like, like a reduction's a little different because that can fuck with their health. So that's a little different on a different scale. But I can see why. But like, I just don't think people should be altering themselves at all. Like, I think you should just be what you are. That's my opinion, though. Like, I have a tattoo though, so I've altered myself in some ways. So like, I'm obviously not fully for that. Like, and people get piercings and whatnot, and like, those
I
are
was
kind
about
of
to
like
say that, yeah.
on a different scale. Like, they're just like things people do to their body. I don't understand all of it, but like, I've done some of it, so like, I understand a little bit of it.
I also think it's kind of funny that they say to treat your body like a temple, but have you ever seen inside a temple, bro? It is tatted up in that bitch, bro. There's fucking paintings of dudes' dicks everywhere, and I love it. Like,
So you're saying we should all get tattoos?
we
of
should get dudes'
dudes'
dicks
all over our
on
body?
us, treat ourselves like a temple, you know? Be like Picasso and
Right.
just draw dicks
Gonna
everywhere.
tattoo
We're
my
gonna be
dick.
like 6th graders in health class.
Get a
I
dick
think I
sleeve.
think I agree with Kyle a lot, but I also think I lean very like independent, or like, I guess it would be libertarian in the you do what you want, and I don't care what anybody that would identify themselves as any form of the fucking LBQ fucking RTZ, whatever the fuck. I don't care. It doesn't bother me until it starts affecting me. When you start trying to change definitions that everybody kind of governs the rules of society because a minority of people feel different, that's now affecting me, and that's where the problem lies. Nobody that I hear is objecting to, if you want to do this, you can't do it. If you want to go get a gender change or get a boob job, nobody's saying you can't do that. What we're saying is you need to contain that to you. It does not need to be amplified to be everybody else's problem. I also don't think that there should be any, that's a personal choice. That's nobody else's burden but yours. While be it unfortunate if we're talking about the M or the F stamped in somebody's brain, while that may be unfortunate, that's not my fault that you may have an F stamped in your brain, or more of an F than an M, but you came out as a male. I have no obligation to you to help you figure that out. So then we get drawn into the requirements and necessities for it. I think that should fall, just like I think everything else should fall, that it's not your entitlement to change with everybody else's support and what's the fucking word I'm thinking of? It shouldn't
wanna
involve
help you.
anybody else. If you want to
Today, Junior.
if you want to change, that's on you, and that's your responsibility to do it. Everybody else does not need to conform and change their realities because you feeling disenfranchised.
Yeah, I think the bullying part of it is what I don't like. Like, you're telling me to forego something that's just obvious in order to validate your life, and I just don't appreciate that. I don't appreciate the bullying of it.
That's something I've never really understood, is like the validation of life. It's like, yeah, I fucking know you exist right now. I can see you. You're a person. You're a human being.
Oh, you crazy bitch!
Your existence is validated by the fact that you're screaming at me right now. But why exactly do you feel like why do they have to say like you don't validate my existence? It's like I'm not saying you don't exist. I'm just saying I don't believe that you are a woman or that you are a man, because obviously I'm looking at something else.
I agree with you on
Oh,
that.
you
It's like,
crazy bitch!
I wouldn't go up to a random stranger and be like, "You're validated. I see you. I'm talking to you. You're a human being." So why would I do that with somebody else just so they can get their nut? Like, I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. And I feel like that's how it is. Like, they will literally go out of their way to get attention just so that they can feel that validation for whatever reason. I say they because they them.
Right.
So you're conforming.
Keeping it
Oh,
PG.
you crazy bitch!
Conforming.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the whole thing of validation. Like, there's 7 billion people on this planet. Maybe a couple hundred know I exist. I think that's way too much in the first place. I don't think 200 fucking people should know I exist. But why do they have to think that everyone should know that they exist? They're a human being. It's like, yeah, everyone on this planet, it's not a goddamn monkey or a dog or a cat, is a fucking human being. You get it. Like, you're alive. Congratulations. Now go fucking live your life somewhere else.
When's the last time that any of you guys ever got that kind of validation? Maybe in the military, maybe. I can see that. But like
what's
Like,
just
what
like
kind of
that's a
validation?
good. I like this question. That's a great question. That is a really interesting
The
question.
last
When's
time
the
you
last
received
time you've been
validation?
validated?
I take what little scraps I can find. It doesn't take much.
What's considered as validation?
What the fuck?
praise, I guess. I mean, would that
You guys?
Oh my god. A validation in the military, excuse me? Yeah.
Is this even saying something bad about you validates your existence, does it not? Because you're a shit fucking cunt, would just be like, okay.
Yeah, Limbo got one. That's nice.
It doesn't feel great. It isn't. Validation has nothing to do with how you feel. It just.
I know, but I
think
I validate my negative side way better myself. So I try to take the positive stuff more. Because
I think that's
I'm too negative.
A lot of what the conflation is a lot of these people.
Thank you, Kaylee. Thank you. You did not again. You need to stop. Just stop.
Their emotions.
Stop.
And how they feel with facts and reality. You don't just because you don't feel like you're validated doesn't mean anyone is specifically targeting you to like judge your existence and to then hyper inflate your existence and your status as a trans whatever, then you're doing to other people what you originally were claiming was being done to you. You're making everything about you to ignore other people, which is what the entire bitch was to begin with, that you weren't being validated and you felt left out and you weren't allowed to be you, but now you're forcing other people into your existence and your bullshit because you feel like you were left out and you were stuck in theirs. And that's just stupid and hypocritical.
I think a lot of it is like the bathroom shit, or like just like, you know, like
you have a bathroom at your house, right? You have multiple sexes in your house, right?
If you're passing by like a transgender and you call them by like what you instinctively think they are, like, oh, this is a dude, but like you know it's a dude, or you look at them and you know it's a dude. They talk like a dude, but like when they want to be identified as a she, they kind of like that I think that's the main pain point for them. It's like, well, if I feel like a girl and everybody's calling me a man, that's just the mix up. I think it's more of an emotion type thing. Because like, when have you guys ever been harassed by a transgender person?
Never.
Ever. You know what I mean? So like,
no, and I'm streamer friends with one. Like, she's an amazing person. I love her. She's an awesome person.
Right? But like the issue is that like when we just instinctively call them what we think they are, but like don't feel, I guess, validated is what you guys are saying when like we call them a man, when in reality they feel like a woman and they want to be a woman and they want to be
Well, I
called
think
like a woman.
that's where a lot of the like circumstantial and legal issue comes in is you described it right. It's what they feel like, and you cannot make laws based off of feelings because law applies to everybody and not everybody feels the same. There has to be an objective boundary somewhere that regardless of feelings, that boundary doesn't change. So if you wake up today and you're a man and I call you him or that guy or whatever, and then tomorrow you wake up and you decide that you're a woman and you now feel like a woman, and I see you again tomorrow in fucking Walmart and I say, "Hey dude, what's up?" or "Hey man, what's up?" Now saying that I'm wrong because you've changed your feeling from yesterday to today, that's your feeling. That should not be any grounds or basis for any objectable law or definition.
Right. I was just arguing like
feeling it changes.
I like that. I
I
like
was
his
just
I like Van's argument here because he's bringing it to a little bit different level, which is like the actual law side of it, where it's like if something is something where you can shift it and change the laws of it, you know, like there's something to that.
I mean, we could get into that, but I'm more talking about like what they feel inside, like when we don't call them by their appropriate like
Yeah,
pronoun
but I
on
mean,
what they feel. But
there's a
we could
lot
get
of
into the
things that
law
I
thing
wish
if we
there's a lot of things I wish people would treat me like I'm fucking 6'3", but I'm never gonna be. I'm always gonna be I'm always gonna be a 5'6" manlet. Like I'll never be able to change that. And like I can do all I can scam and do all sorts of things, and I can get really mad at people for doing it for calling me that. But like it's not gonna change it. Like it's still the
And I think
reality.
that's okay. I kind of see what you're saying now, Caesar. But the different the thing then
I'm
hold
not.
on to
Well,
is
let me clear it up. Where it's like I'm not trying to argue. I'm just trying my best to kind of like figure out how they feel. Because like if I, for example, Tickleware didn't want me to call him by his real name. Like he doesn't want me to call him by anything but Tickleware, right? Well, if I call him by his name or like something else, like that doesn't necessarily increase my standing with him. So like it's not he might feel some type of way when I don't call him by his real name. And I think that's where we're at with the transgender. Now,
and
go
I
ahead.
think that then you have to draw a distinction between civility and actual law because they're being conflated in the overall argument. Being civil is one thing, and like your name is Caesar. If I'm coming to you and I'm calling you Caesar, that's me and you being on a civil interaction where we're both on the same playing field. If I come to you and instead of calling you Caesar, I go, "Hey bitch," that's the civility between the two of us. There's
Right.
no punishment based off of your feelings. Your feelings are within your own head and your own body and person, and that's you. That is not then subject to me. If you feel a certain way, then you can leave, you can go do whatever, you can tell me you don't want me around you, but that is not then a standard that needs to be broken across all spans of everyone, because I may call Kyle a bitch and he doesn't get offended and doesn't have any problem with it, and it's just another thing and rolls right off his back. So you being offended by it and objecting to it is not a standard that then needs to be set for everyone.
Well,
how do y'all feel about transgenders in the military? I'm not saying they should pay for it. I'm just saying, like, and because it's a hot topic for some people. So
this is an interesting one, and I think that if people are getting removed from service for having fucked up feet, the fact that they can't identify what gender they are should be an automatic out.
mm.
I mean, it seems just as ridiculous to me as if somebody can't fucking get in because they have fucked up arches or whatever. Like, why should somebody get in because they can't they can't cohere to their own reality? Like, I mean, it just seems like an obvious dysfunction.
I think they are trying to cohere to their reality by trying to get the gender reassignment.
Yeah, and
So
that's their own struggle.
But would
and
that
it
make
shouldn't be
them
included in the
as
military.
incapable of being able to serve though?
Yes,
Because they got a gender reassignment.
yes,
I
100%.
think
They can't
I-
they can't cohere to reality. They can't cohere to reality. I mean, it's just a fundamental fact is they're not cohering to reality. Like, they are taking a step past and saying, I'm cohering to this new reality, which is that I
Well,
am not what I am.
I don't think it's that necessarily.
is.
I think they're well aware that they have a dick or a vagina, but like they don't necessarily feel like a man.
You
Okay,
could say like the
so-
same thing about Bruce Jenner too, about before she became Caitlyn.
I think this is the problem is there all of these arguments there has to be a line somewhere because to make a yes or no decision you have to be able to operate off of a some form of a line, otherwise the yes and the no is permanently sliding and it's never applicable to everyone because everybody's different. So there has to be some kind of a line, and where I could be more I guess where I kind of seem to feel a little more friendly is one, I agree with Kyle. The military should have absolutely nothing to do with paying for it. The government should have nothing to do with paying for it. It's your struggle, just like I think
Right.
about fucking.
As it is technically an elective
Just to
surgery.
clarify, paying for what? Like surgeries?
The gender reassignment, yeah. 'Cause
They
there was
shouldn't be
debate
in.
about that, and I
They
don't think
shouldn't be
that
in. They shouldn't be
breast
in.
reconstruction,
So
whatever.
Kyle's arguing they
I-
shouldn't be in. We haven't even
yeah.
gotten to like if they should
I
pay for
agree.
anything.
They should not be in.
Well, that wasn't the
I
question.
can
Yeah, that.
concede though that if they have already passed through everything,
Mm-hmm.
like they've already had their surgery, they've already declared whatever, they've already gotten past their struggles and whatever they are,
Got their
and are
waivers.
now fit to join as whatever they now declare themselves as, then that may be an argument to this person is now identifying as this, and they wish to join and serve and whatever. But
Kyle, do you agree
the
with that?
minute any more of those issues come up, then you're no longer qualified because that is an issue that you're taking, that if you then become a liability because you are not in a clear frame to be able to focus solely on something else if you constantly have this thing looming over you, and now everybody else that's involved has to conform to whatever your feeling is. And I think we fall back into the feelings that are subjectual and they're not definite. So if you have your surgery, you go through whatever process you need to go through, Caesar, now you're a woman and you want to join the fucking army as a woman, and you go through and you meet all the qualifications and you're now a woman in the fucking army. Great. Whatever. Do your fucking service. I'm not going to fucking chant or tote about it. You're just another woman in the fucking military. You don't deserve any different recognition than any other woman in the military. And the minute that you now start having those issues again, you're now distracting from the military's goal, which is to protect us and to kill our enemies. And if you're distracting from that goal, then you're also contributing towards others' distractions from that goal.
What if
And that's there's no place for that.
What about like a transgender that's already in the military?
They should be kicked out.
Because
I'm
Navitrax
against
in my
ban.
chat,
I'm against
Navitrax
ban.
in my chat said that
I'm
there
against
is a
ban.
transgender U.S. military drill instructor.
Yeah,
there is one.
There are transgender people in
Mhm.
the military.
I don't think they should be.
I don't think
any
either
should
for the
be.
exact same argument. You're distracting from cohesion and
I would
focus.
also say that people don't really care because people like the military is already a smorgasbord as it is already. People from different cultures, different ethnicities. Like, what's one more little thing? What's one more little thing?
I disagree. I think that the whole point is that the military is designed around standards. And there's mental
yeah, there
standards,
definitely has to be standards.
There's physical standards and there's mental standards.
Correct.
And
Yep.
and I just don't think that fits into it. I think that is a no-go. I think that they should not be in it. And I don't think that they should care. Why is that a fight that you want to take? Why do you want to be in the military? Like, just like I don't think I think it's ridiculous.
They serve their country.
Okay, so do all the other people that get rejected, but they still get fucking rejected because they can't cut it.
What I think
they could have a reason for wanting to join.
I mean,
I don't
everyone
care
has
what
a
reasons
reason.
people have. That's irrelevant to the choosing standards that the Marines have always had, like, or just the military has always had.
Yeah, Kyle's
But like,
not
okay, if you
objecting
want to,
to their.
I don't
their
think if you
want
want
to
to
join.
serve your country, it should be like a fucking like you should be denied just because you feel like you're a woman and you
You
have
shouldn't be denied because your feet are fucky, but they do.
But
They deny people for all kinds of things. It doesn't change how much they want to serve their country. They're still denying them. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, is that they're denying people for all these other
should
reasons.
be more on a case by case basis. Obviously,
I mean, that's not how, they do kind of do it case by case.
If you're transgender and you have fucky feet, then sure. But like,
but the fact that you're transgender is just a fucking monkey wrench that nobody needs.
There's gay people in the military. I mean, like, what the fuck
Yeah,
is it?
so that doesn't hurt.
Do you think that's mentally?
People in
Do you
the
think you're
military,
mentally fucked? Do you think you're mentally fucked if you're gay too, though?
1 second, Caesar. The reason I think it's so much different is because when you're saying about the Olympics, right? And like basically guys performing in girls, you know, Olympic sports or whatever, like it's the same thing in the military. There's still like girl standards or female standards and male standards when it comes to PT testing and stuff like that. Like having a male who is female or transferred whatever transgender
got the reassignment.
female.
Yes.
How do you say that? I don't know. Transgender male, transgender female,
Transgender female.
A transgender. So you, yeah, go ahead.
Basically, they would have female standards.
It's an unfair advantage.
Well, I just
that's not what I'm
add
saying.
on to this stuff.
I'm just saying, like, letting them in general.
What Shaft is saying.
But if you have a dick, just if you get put in with the men anyway, then I mean, we allow women and men into the military. I don't think like having transgenders in the military is necessarily a bad thing.
You don't think that somebody that can't acknowledge reality?
I think the same way that
is a fucking problem. Like,
living
that's what
to
I
their
don't get.
true
like,
self.
Any other mental illness is like a no-go, and then it's like this one is fine. Like, this is still somebody that rejects reality and applies their own.
Well, obviously, you're not gonna have a good outlook on transgenders when you think they're denying reality. I don't
think that they
like,
are.
why do you think they're not?
I think a lot of people deny reality.
Well, okay, you would have to explain that further, but denying reality is like over here, and like transgenders, like it's not even in the same like reality.
Yes, it is.
I think it's completely in the same.
It is that reality. That is the reality.
It's like you're saying like, oh, they think they don't have dicks. Like that's why they're
they
pushing
clearly
for all
know,
this
and that's why they want the
like
assignment.
Like you're framing
wanna
them to be
be
like
who
these
they want to be.
delusional people that just don't have a place in our world. I don't think it's anything
That's
like
not
that.
how I'm framing them.
I just think
That's
they
not.
have a female brain and a male
You're
body.
adding that framing. You're adding that framing. You're saying I don't think they have a place in this world. I don't think I didn't talk down on them like that. I said that they're
Well,
denying
people
reality.
that deny reality are probably not sane, right? Is that fair to say?
Well, that's kind of what I'm saying.
Okay, then if people deny reality, you are calling them crazy.
So I
So
think
transgenders are
I think
crazy in
that's
your
what I was getting to was if they've moved past any of their own struggles, then and they then qualify after that, then I am more so okay with it. But the caveat is there is no place for anybody in any realm of that process that's ongoing in the military because that's a focus that is clearly in every fabric of their life that they're not going to be able to set aside
So
to
that's what
focus on whatever their mission is at hand. That is something that is going to be affecting them until they get through it. And that's not something that is allowed to be a distraction.
that's what I kind of wanted to add to this conversation here is try to hopefully explain it in a different way to kind of make you all of you kind of understand what at least what part of the reason is why the military needs to be as strict as it is when accepting people participants into the military. Because if you think about it this way, the military has one goal in mind, and that's to protect the United States from foreign and domestic foes. That goal is is their sole purpose. So that means anyone who comes into the military and starts making the goal about them, it's like it's a if you have flat foot, you know, you're gonna be having a lot harder time marching, and you're gonna have to do a lot of fucking marching and a lot of fucking running. If you have two big boobs and your back is hurting, you have to get a breast reduction before you can join the military, and you have to do it all before you join the military. If you are transgender but you're still haven't transitioned yet, this is where I kind of differentiate. If you need to solve all your shit before you join the military, you can't join the military and then solve your shit during the military because then all the focus is on you and not the mission. So if you had all the shit, if you have depression beforehand and you go in the military with depression, then it's all gonna be about taking you to counseling, making sure you get your pills. Like that's not the shit that the military needs to focus on. They need to focus on completing the mission. They don't need to focus on your transgender pills. They don't need to focus on your breast reduction. They don't need to focus on your flat feet. They need to focus on the mission. So if you fix your shit before they join the military, I would have no problem. But the
It
and
even is.
all these little things they tend to add up. You're just saying like, hey, this is just another little thing. Yeah, but there's 100 or sorry, over 1 million people in the army, like 700,000 in the Marine Corps. Like that's a lot of little things.
100,000.
That's a whole lot of little things, and that shit adds up and takes way too much time away from the mission. That's too much pay going to other things than what we need to accomplish to keep our country safe, to keep our countrymen safe. And that's how people die, is when you're not focused on the mission.
So a couple of you guys think that because they're transgender, that's gonna affect their ability to serve.
Anyone's who fucked up in any kind of way, physical or mental, is going to affect anyone's mission or ability to serve in the military. Period.
I know for a fact that even us four specifically, me, Tickle, Deja, Van, have experienced even in our small shop, people that don't have enough like strength mentally to like. I know you guys know, or who was it? Sweet.
Yeah.
Shot himself in the head. He's a normal dude. Just regular guy. Like the military fucks you up. And if you're not already 100%, it's all mental. 100% mental. If you don't have that full mental, like you're not going to be able to perform in a war or your job or any other thing that is necessary for the mission. So that's just how
I think a big line that needs to be identified or drawn or pointed out is if you're joining the military because you have some call to serve or you feel some duty or obligation, that should be your focus. You do not join the military with your own purpose in mind. That's not how it works. You have to give something before you can get any of the stuff back. And I think that's where this kind of entitlement comes into, that people join the military and then think they deserve things as soon as they join the military, that like, I'll join the military and they'll pay for this and fix my problems. And that's not how it works.
Yep.
The military will pay for your college or your whatever that you go through. Well, I guess college is really the only one that's applicable here because it's something that you're getting. Other than that, the military only pays for things that happen to you while you're in the military because they're getting something from you.
Right.
Getting your performance, your time, your efforts in furthering their mission, and you get fucked up because of it. Now they're paying you and helping you get through what they put you in. You coming in with a fucked up sense of who you are, whether you're a man or a woman or a man or whatever, that is not the military's fault or job to pay for.
So, but
They do
you're
not have
coming,
any obligation to you.
Nathan. Why? So, like, why? I mean, you're bringing like a whole, like, this is a whole different debate. Like, you're pretty much saying like they're joining the military, so the military pays for their surgery.
No, I'm saying if you
Or
have
just
cancer
like other things
before
in
the
general.
military, if you have cancer and then you try to go join the military, they're not responsible for any of the treatment from your cancer before you join the military.
Right, but
That's like a pre-existing
how does
condition
that,
with like insurance and stuff. You know what I mean?
yeah, but like,
So if you
how
have
does that?
any kind of situation that's ongoing before you join the military that excludes you from joining the military, it's not their, that's not their focus. The military doesn't give a shit about you and your gender identity.
Well, they do now.
And well, they shouldn't. That's what I'm saying, is they don't, that's not their job or their focus, like Tickle was saying. And the fact that
Okay,
people think that because they feel a certain way, then other people need to then conform to accept the way they feel is not going to lead to a stronger military. It's going to lead to more distractions, more issues, more behind the scenes problems that take away from the focus on the actual mission.
I think that's a different argument, though. You're saying like, okay, they join the military and they're joining in the military for like the specific health insurance benefit, and because they get health insurance, they could like easily or free or for free
A lot of people
assign their gender. But
a lot of people join just for the college.
That's
a lot
true.
of people join for.
It does take a while for that to go in, though.
For the health insurance, yeah. I mean,
well, you got to serve honorably for 4 years. I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, or 3 or something to get your full.
I mean,
yeah,
like,
yeah. Kaylee said
still,
it's
like,
3 years. Yeah,
3 years, 3 months.
If you
Either
had,
way,
wouldn't the cancer
it's
thing?
2.5 now.
Wouldn't the cancer thing be like, if you're white, you're more susceptible to cancer, and you probably had it all your life, and you joined the military.
if
but
you're
in
black,
the military,
you're more susceptible to blood diseases.
Or that was more an example. I wasn't.
But I'm just saying, like, that's just that's
Right,
like
but
that's
I'd
something
like-
they would look for, though. Like,
The-
if
the-
somebody had something bad, they would look for it to reject them for it, like, because they want the ideal candidates, like, so that they perform best. That's the whole point. That's what I'm getting at. It's just that they want the whole idea behind it is to find the ideal candidates. And that's why I think these people should be rejected. It's not because of that. Like, the people get rejected for tons of shit all the time, and I don't see why that is magically one of them that they wouldn't reject you for.
Because
when I was going, I had a buddy that has a foot that was like an inch. No, not an inch, but it was like half an inch to like a couple centimeters. Like one leg was longer than the other, and it was causing him hip issues and shit. And they fucking did an exam on him, and they fucking found out that, and they're like, "All right, buddy, you're going home, bro. Pack your bags."
Yeah, that's the same thing. It's just that's all it is to me. Is it's just another thing that should have you excluded, and it's not your fault. Like, if you're that person, it sucks. Because like my cousin's like that. He fucking broke his hip. He can't join.
Mhm.
That's all he ever wanted. He really fucking wanted to join, and I feel bad that he can't. But like he has to live with that reality that like that's just not something he gets to do.
It comes down to it's a pre-existing condition. Regardless of what you call it, it is a condition that exists prior to you joining the military. The military doesn't have any time or tolerance for pre-existing conditions. That's why they reject people because of them. And in this specific case, the minority that is transgenders is being loud enough and bullying enough that they think their pre-existing condition should be treated differently than anyone else's. And it shouldn't. Just because you have a different condition than somebody else, just because okay, so if it's not a condition and they just have a brain that's a male or a female but their body's opposite, then what the fuck is the difference from somebody who believes they're a fucking dog?
Well, we have evidence to disprove that.
It's a mental state. It is a mental state.
If we're letting gays join and be in the military, I don't see any problem with transgenders.
But gays don't reject reality. They just choose that
Okay,
they.
you keep using.
They
this
don't
term.
require any kind of medical attention. All right.
I don't think. No, but like some transgenders don't want to like reassign themselves.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Like, it's not like all these transgenders want to reassign. Like they're
not every single
perfectly
one.
fine
Okay,
with
then
their
they
bodies.
just can't join, and that's okay.
But like,
but like at that point, like
because they shouldn't, just like everybody else, they can't.
So then what is
at this point they're just dressing in like a woman's clothes and call themselves a female, which is what they believe that they are and that they're going to call themselves, and that's rightfully so. But they're not getting the gender reassignment, but they should be able to go into the military, right?
So their only objection is to what you call them. That's it. That is the only issue here.
So what do you mean by that?
What I'm getting to is Kyle's talking about was mentioning surgeries. You're saying not all of them want gender reassignment, want all of that. That is again another instance where there needs to be a line drawn of what we're defining, because otherwise we're just playing this entire game of everything's a case by case basis, and you can't as a standard for everybody.
I think that's fair.
Let me put it to you
I think
this
that's
way.
fair.
Let's say there is a transgender male, which transgender female, which is a man who
transition
and not transition, but it believes that he's a female or she is a female, but still is physically, biologically a male. And let's say that she joins the military. Now the military has to decide, okay, are we going to put you with the females training in boot camp? We're going to put you with the males training in boot camp. Well, if you put him with the females, well, he has different appendages, and the females may not. So you have to consider what the females are going to feel about it. And then let's say they get past through all that and they start joining into the fleet is what we call it in the Marine Corps. Let's say they get to the fleet. Now, do they fall under female standards or they fall under male standards? Now, if it was a male that's going in and is going under female standards, he's obviously going to beat those female standards. Now, what happens is if you are excelling physically in your trainings and your standards, you will be chosen for promotion over other people. So the fact that this person does better physically than all the other females, just because he says he's a female, does that give him the right to be chosen over other females, even though he's biologically a male?
Well,
that's another problem.
I think
there's another problem and more issues.
Why don't we put the transgender females in the men category? In terms of like, do they go boot camp with the men or women?
But how about we just don't bring them in at all? How about we just say no?
I think because this kind of solves your issue, right, Tickle?
We found Nancy Reagan. We
We
found Nancy Reagan. We found Nancy Reagan, guys.
Not really, because then transgender would be like, well, then you're not validating my existence as a female. I don't want to be in with the men. I want to be in with the females because I believe I'm a female. So how do you argue with that?
But I'm saying like we could take baby steps, I guess. But like if you have a dick, I mean, I think they want to argue with you being like, okay, for specific things that require like specific like assignments, I think they'd be fine with being put with the men. Like,
I mean, a lot of them aren't. I mean, that's why a lot of female or transgender females are joining the women's Olympics instead of the men's. Even though their physical capabilities are different than females, they still want to be in the females one because they believe they are females.
right, all these organizations do it differently, but I'm saying for like the military, we could just put them. We could put all the transgenders, or what we classify the transgenders as, men, and
Or
then
we could just not include any of them.
and then we'd be straight.
Why can't we just not include them?
Okay, so
why do they have to be
hold on,
included?
I'm responding.
Why do they have to be included?
I'm responding to Tickle.
Let him
Kyle,
finish.
you think?
But that's my argument. Why do they have to be in there?
Let me frame your argument, Kyle. You think these people are mentally like not, or you think they're denying reality, which is like they're insane, pretty much. They don't like.
I'm
they're
sorry.
insane.
No, there's a difference because
What?
some transgender people understand the duality of their existence, and they understand that they are striving outside of what they are, but they still feel that way, and they go with that anyway. And I understand that, and I get behind that. Like I don't disagree with that. Like I understand what they're doing. They feel that way, and they're going with it no matter what. They're going against the grain on that, and that's fine. But it shouldn't be in the military then. It should just be another thing that's not allowed. That's all there is to it. Like, why is that so difficult?
I think it's not a good thing when you call transgenders denying reality. Like,
but that's part of what they're doing.
If that's
same
the
with
truth,
girls that get tit implants. They're denying reality. They're small titted. They get tit implants because they want the reality to be that they have big tits. And they create that reality. It doesn't make it. It only makes it like very surface, like a reality. But they create that reality. They're still creating that reality. Like but I still think that they are denying reality, and they are creating something that isn't there.
I don't think the women get breast implants because they think their tits should be here are huge. Like
what?
But
that's exactly why they get tit implants, because they have small tits.
Because you're saying denying reality, and when you deny reality, you're denying like you have small tits and you have big tits. Why would you get breast implants if you think that you have big tits?
I have a little bit of a counter. I kind of see what Caesar's saying. I have a little bit of a counter argument because I understand Kyle and I agree with Kyle. If we're taking the transgender grouping and saying they feel different than everybody else, then why do they feel the need to reassign everybody else's long-standing definitions instead of creating a new one for themselves? Because at this point, where a lot of people that disagree have the real concerns, is you may be a transgender and you are a man who believes he's a woman, but nothing about you other than your brain function, which is the smallest aspect of any bit of your physical character, describes you as a woman. The way you need to be treated medically is that of a man. The hygienal needs you have on a daily basis are that of a man. The standards for your body and your strength and physical fitness are that of a man. So if you're going to say that you don't associate with being a man, you associate with being a woman, the argument is you're now trying to change the standards for what everyone else accepts because of how you feel. And that is not there. No one else should be conforming to what you want, especially if you're trying to join an organization that already exists. You want in. That means you need to conform to them, not they need to conform to you. But you don't go to a bank and tell them what rates you want and they have to give it to you. You go there for a loan, you get the rates that you get the rates that they are going to give you, or you fucking go somewhere else.
Well, what I'm saying is like Kyle's like framing them like they're insane people. That's like Kyle saying that all Democrats or liberals are mentally delusional, and I don't think it helps us get to like a middle ground and understand each other. So I think that's where like my issue lies, where it's like by you
No, I'm
calling
saying
by
that
you
some
calling
people.
them denying reality. I don't think you could ever get common ground with these people because like that's just a toxic
No,
thing to
because
say.
because some people don't deny reality. So some transgenders would accept the fact that they understand that they are going against the grains of what is reality, and they do it anyway. And I don't care about that. They can do that. I'm totally fine with that. You're saying I think that you're saying that I think that somehow that an exclusive organization like the military should just curtail all that they are or, to allow them. And that's what
Just to
I'm
be
saying
clear,
is
I have
ridiculous.
an issue.
That's more ridiculous than what I'm saying. Like I'm just saying that like if they're saying that they are the thing and they aren't that thing, like that's a denial of reality.
But I think if that's the truth to you, then like we can never really like like you can
No,
never
that's the
really
truth.
respect
The definition
respect
of a man
people.
is having a penis. It doesn't matter what you think about it. That's the definition. You can't
But
then say that's not reality because you feel different.
People that do that, but they recognize the reality that they are a man that is becoming a woman or trying to be a woman. That I respect. I have more respect for someone who is trying to do the normal thing, which
what
is to
is
say,
but then
I
what
am a
is that?
man.
So like if I'm a transgender and I'm be like, "Oh, can you call me a girl?" Like
Yeah,
I like are
I don't
you
care.
automatically associating with me denying reality if I just say like, "Oh, I'm a
No.
transgender?" But like
No, I think the denial of reality is where you think that everybody else needs to change to your standards. You're now then rejecting the current reality that everybody else has agreed upon because that's all these words and definitions and everything are is a standard that's been set that everybody has a basis for, that's tied in our shared reality right here, that we have dicks, we all have balls, we are male. That is the
mhm.
definition of male. Because you have a dick and balls and then feel like you want to be a woman, that does not allow you the opportunity to then change everybody else's agreed upon reality because you feel different.
But
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say
You
is
thinking everybody else needs to change what their reality is and accept your reality is what Kyle is identifying as their
I don't
altered reality, because they're
What I'm
trying to
saying
change what everybody else has already established.
what I'm saying is that somebody that
Well, you
does
know, I
that
don't fucking agree
chooses
with what he's saying.
to deny the reality, like they at least acknowledge the fact that they're doing so. They
who's
don't try to
acknowledge
say
like what
no. What I'm saying is people that transition that say, I understand that I am a man that is becoming a woman, and I understand that like I in reality I can never 100% be, but I can present almost entirely as, and it's good enough for me. And they're still doing that regardless. Like that's fine by me. I understand that,
okay.
and I can
So
respect the fact that they understand that they cannot be that thing, but they are gonna still do it regardless. That
So
I have vastly more respect for than somebody that tries to say, no, I am that thing. No, because that's not a reality. You are not that thing. You are choosing to take that, like to become that thing, even though you know that you can't fully become that thing. And like that, and that's a step that if someone's willing to take that step, I actually have respect for that because I understand that. But I don't think that they doing that deserve to have the rights to do whatever the fuck they want.
okay,
If people get rejected from the military for all these different reasons, there's no reason that they shouldn't get rejected for that as well.
So
so for you
let's
to
have
for
hold
you to
on.
respect a transgender, go
Hold
ahead.
on, Caesar, 1 second.
Yeah, go
Let's
ahead.
have Caesar finish off on his section,
mm,
and then we're gonna make a soft pivot or elsewhere. So we're gonna have Caesar finish off his thoughts, and then we're gonna make a soft pivot to a slightly different topic, but slightly similar as well. So go ahead, Caesar.
Yeah, I like that idea because I'm not really truly like we don't have a transgender in here, so we don't really know. But like, I just think it's not a good thing if you're claiming they're denying reality. Just like if somebody's gay, I don't think they're denying reality, and like they should be able, they should like women instead of men.
They're not, but they're not denying reality.
Let's just
They're
end it there, though.
It's okay.
but they're a male that loves a male, like,
But
or
like
that is
when
attracted
you
to
come
men.
at it,
They're not. They're not.
when you
They
come
understand.
at it,
They understand the
True,
fact.
Colbert,
Now, if
true.
they were gay and they said I can have babies,
but
then it's like, well, no, you can't. Like, unless you get outside help.
Kyle,
Like that, there's a
when you
difference.
come into it thinking that they're like mentally not there or mentally even retarded or just like mentally like
Kaylee, what the fuck are you doing,
I
girl?
don't think that's a healthy
Stop.
thing. I don't think you could look at them in like a human type of way if like you
What in
if
the
your
world?
mindset is like, oh, these people are denying reality. So
But they
then
are.
there
But they are.
Okay.
Relax.
But that's what
Okay,
you-
so but I'm
Alright,
trying to
so-
say that's a bad thing, Kyle. But yeah,
Let
let's
him-
pivot because I gotta go
let's-
Girl.
okay, real quick. Anyways,
Yeah, so let's
The
pivot.
Bengals
to,
are gonna beat you.
a
Alright,
different.
that's all I'm gonna
but
say. I know you're gonna
slightly
watch
different,
now because
slightly
it's
similar. Do
Tennessee,
you guys believe
but we're gonna
that
win.
parents should
That's all I'm gonna
have
say.
the right to give their kids transgender hormones?
Absolutely fucking not.
Shaw.
Who the fuck is Shaft talking to? You weirdo.
It's talking to the stream, probably.
What do you think, Shaw?
I think it comes down to at a certain age. Like if they're like 8 years old, I want to do this. I'm gonna be like, nah. Wait a couple more years. Talk back to me back when you're like 15, 16. We'll see if you still feel that way. If they're at that point, because puberty's fucking pumping at this point, and they still, feel they're like, I don't want. I'm gonna be like, okay, let's consider this.
I think the exact opposite. I think puberty, nobody, especially, like, I can't speak for women. I would assume it's very similar, but teenage boys going through puberty are fucking stupid. You make dumb, idiotic decisions all the time because your hormones are going fucking nuts. I think if you're not old enough to do anything else that is attributed as a right or a privilege in life, then why should an outside person be responsible for medical procedures to a child or giving the child that right? A breast implant is significantly less life altering on the medical standpoint and mental and how they turn out. Should we allow children that think they want to have breast implants before they're 18? Are they allowed to do it with parental consent? Like, does that just not seem like an absurdly stupid thing to do? And if that's dumb, why would we take it even further and allow them to make these other choices that are significantly more impactful?
What do you think, Shaft? Maybe you can join in the conversation, yeah?
Yeah, 100%. I agree with all of you guys. What you guys are saying.
Okay, guy. Okay.
So there's two
Not
differentiating
even
opinions.
Listen. Once we get into some like bullshit political stuff, that's when you lose me.
It's not even political. This is about like
Kaylee,
children.
relax,
This is
girl.
about
Yeah, but before. It was
That's for you.
before with the transgender stuff. That's when
You're
That's
scared.
about
You're scared to talk about it. I get it.
You're just
I'm
a little,
not
little
scared to
bitch
talk about it. I
boy.
just don't give a fuck, honestly.
Just a little bitch boy.
Okay,
No,
so let's say Shafty, let's say you had a kid, right, with your wife,
okay.
and the kid was, let's say, like what Shaw was saying, about 8
Oh,
years
so you
old,
don't want my fucking love? Okay.
and it came to you, and it was like, I don't want to be a boy anymore. I want to be a girl. Would you start giving it puberty blockers?
I honestly don't know. It'd have to be one of those things that Once
When
it
have I
gets to
ever
that
said
point,
that?
if it
You're
ever gets to
lying.
that point, then
Slander, lies, slander.
it's kind of like not only me decision, you know.
Do you think parents should have the legal right?
I'd say
mean,
that's the thing that you
technically-
do. I think that to develop fully, to fully develop as a child, like you shouldn't start, and nobody should do anything like until they're fully developed as like an adult. That's my opinion, but
But
If
the
you
argument
can make
there
the
is
choice to drink
What
or
age?
I love
smoke
you.
pot
Okay.
or drive.
What age?
What age?
18. I don't know.
18?
You can drive at 16.
What
Well,
about brain development?
Women.
Some states you can drive at
I don't-
14.
Well, doesn't male brain development isn't that into the
You
20s?
can't drive at 16.
Everyone
without
is 25.
involvement.
yeah,
25?
You have to
women
be 18 before you can go get your
Oh,
own.
I don't fucking
Like,
care.
brain development ends at 25, however, but puberty ends sooner for women. Puberty
Yeah.
ends around like 16, 15 for women, and men stop puberty around like 18, I think.
Listen, if it's my son or daughter, then like I love them regardless. You know,
That's what I'm
Like,
saying. If they
I
want to
don't
do
know.
it, man, I'll fucking do it, man.
That's just how it is.
So Caesar,
Do
we're talking
what?
about.
But the question isn't
Is
like
when do I allow
yeah.
them to transition?
Mm.
Hold on.
see,
Let me explain this to Caesar
everyone
really quick.
understands that
There's
aspect.
so many variables too because it depends
Hold
on like,
on,
your
let me
child's
explain to
attitude and
Caesar
shit,
really
too.
quick, you fuckers. Yeah.
Yeah.
let me include him
Listen.
into the conversation. All right.
No, because then
So
he's
we
gonna
made
have
a
lot to
soft
say.
pivot. We made a soft pivot from transgenders into military into whether or not parents should be allowed to make the medical decision to let their kids have puberty blockers or transition as children.
Okay. And let me guess, Kyle had the spiciest take.
He hasn't said anything yet, though. I'm
Oh,
actually
okay.
about to get to
I'm-
him. So let's go,
Oh, yeah,
Kyle.
okay.
Let's go to your spiciest take right now. What do you think?
So what do I think about that?
Yeah, what do you think?
Well, I think that if I had a kid, I would advise them to just fucking be themselves. Like I don't understand this because I'm never gonna say that I advise my kid to do that. Like I'm not gonna tell them to go for it and do it. I'm gonna tell them to think about it. I'm gonna always.
You're gonna do me like
I'm-
that.
If you're asking about my kid, I'm always going to advise them to think about it and think about the opposite of what they're thinking of doing. I'm always going to take that like antithetical side. Like I'm always going to go against the grain, and I'm going to say like, listen, I understand you want to do this, but like let me warn you against it. I'm always going to do that because that's how I am. I always warn against the negatives of stuff. Like that's just who I am. So I'm always going to take the negative side of it and say like this is the negatives of whatever you're deciding to do. Even if I think they're doing the right thing, I'm going to say the same thing. I'm going to advise them against the negatives of it. Like if they're like I want to be a marine, I'll be like, "Well, let me tell you about all the negatives." I'm going to do that no matter what. So that's all there is to it.
Okay. I think that's a pretty logical take.
What do you think, Caesar?
So like, but Kyle didn't really give like a good yes or no answer. Like,
No, the
let's
only
say
person
my
that gave yes or no was Van. Everyone else was pretty ambiguous.
Very decisive.
I mean, it depends when it starts. It's so fucking complicated. It really is.
We gave like age 8.
I don't think I would give my kid anything until like a good. I really just don't know. Honestly, it really just is case by case basis, but like ultimately it's their decision.
See, that's
Well, technically, ultimately, it's your decision because you're the one, as the parent, until they're of legal age, you have to go to the pharmacy. You have to get the puberty blockers. You have to buy all the shit for them. You have to take them through the process. So technically,
all
it is
under-
your decision.
Okay, but you're saying like under the age of like under a certain age, then.
Yeah, I mean, it has to
sure.
be puberty blockers, so they're below 18 for sure.
Oh, I see. Right. No, then I probably wouldn't. I probably wouldn't do that. That's too young to like make any type of decision. I wouldn't.
yeah. I don't think that's ever a good idea
You
for somebody else
you hold on to the
determining the having such an influence or a decision in something that will literally change the entire rest of their life when they haven't even finished developing into whatever the start of the rest of that life will be. And coming from, like, I'm the only one that has a kid, so I probably interact with a lot of other kids, a lot more kids than you guys do. Every kid's different, but this kind of a topic, you can't judge on a case by case basis because you're just opening yourselves up. Like, when you do that, you just open up for flaws, and all the individual case by case bases now have individual case by case issues that you then have to resolve, and it just compounds and builds and builds and builds, and now there's just too much for the system that there's just no way to structure any part of society that way. You see it right now with immigration. It's a case by case basis, and look how backed up they get. Imagine if you start doing that for everyone joining the military, everyone wanting to have a surgery that for their kid, or start this gender reassignment for a child that now you have to get parental consent. And then where do you draw the line with parental consent? Because if my wife thinks she wants our daughter to do it, but I don't, now who gets the say?
And that's where I agree with both you and Van. I don't think parents should really have any say in whether or not their kids get like puberty blockers or get a gender reassignment. It should be the kid decides when they're legally able to decide. That's it. I think that should be across the United States in general. I think that should be the rule because there's a lot of parents who want their kids to be one way or another, and they'll go out of their fucking way. Like a lot of those like dance moms, they force their kids to go to these like slutty ass. I mean, these are like 6-year-old girls wearing these slutty ass costumes, going to these dances, going through torture. They're fucking up their bones. They're fucking up their bone structure, all because these parents want them to be good because the parents
They're
make it
pretty
feel
much
good
living
about
through
them.
them. They're pretty much living vicariously through them.
Kids are gonna up until a certain point, kids are gonna want and repeat whatever they're taking in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, like,
to a certain extent,
what he's saying about these dance moms, a lot of these kids they could hate it, but they want it because it's what gets them the most attention from their parents. It's what their parents put so much.
And they wanted them to be happy, because if they're not fucking doing things right, then that's going to cause issues. Like the child's like, oh, I'm fucking up. I'm not going to be able to do this now.
And that causes tremendous unknown mental problems down the road as far as attachment and gratification and what you expect emotionally, because they're then setting a goal. They're setting a hard standard of performance, and you can't give children life-changing decisions like that because they're just dumb. Like, my daughter's a genius for 3 years old. She's smart as shit. She impresses me all the time. But I wouldn't make a decision off of that. All the little, like, 11-year-olds I see. My brother is 14. And as smart as he is, and as much as he picks up on, and as quick-witted as he is for a 14-year-old, he's still a fucking 14-year-old. He has no clue what life is. And making a decision that is that impactful, even if his parents agree with it, there's no basis for any kind of logic. Again, we circle back to feelings. That becomes something that you're doing based off of a feeling.
Oh, you crazy!
What that person is feeling, what the parents are feeling, what
Kaylee, stop. What the fuck?
What anyone is feeling is not
What
is
the
not a
fuck, girl?
basis for how you should set standards.
Thank
and
you.
I don't think
Thank you.
anybody but the person that's
Thank
having
you.
that
You're Jesus Christ.
assignment should be
Thank
able to
you.
have an impact on that. And it should
For
not be,
everything.
you should not be allowed to make that decision as the person unless you're legally in control of yourself.
Oh, you
Like,
crazy
think about all the ramifications. Like a lot of parents,
I told you to stop.
I don't know, 2016.
Stop.
Stopped being super important. But a lot of parents are like, I want my kid
Stop.
to be straight. All right, they need to be straight. They need to be straight, and that had a very huge impact on that kid's life for like the rest of their life. You know, now they never feel accepted by their parents. They never feel accepted as one of society because that's what their parents want. Now flip it, you're like, I want my kid to be gay. I want my kid to be gay. But the kid's like, no, I'm straight. It's like, no, you're trying to force your kid to be something they don't want to be,
Mm-hmm.
or you're trying to make a decision for them based on how you feel. And that's
That
just
also
something
has effects as well on the kids' psyches too.
yeah. And there's definitely people out there who want their kids to be transgender and will fucking dress them up and do all kinds of things to them to make sure that they're going to be transgender. It's just
Go
no,
Bengals.
let
Go
your kid
fucking
be
Bengals.
a kid, and then when they become 18, they can make whatever decisions they want to make because that's when they can make those decisions legally and I think as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
I think I actually, like, I agree with what he said, but I think this kind of ties into another topic I've had come up is like the legal age for things is so like fluctuated in our society that there's no consistency and it becomes very awkward.
See, I personally like you're saying, like the legal age for things like in Europe, drinking is the 16 is the legal drinking age, and here it's 21. In other countries, it's different ages. I personally think, based on like we said earlier, 25 is when your brain stops developing. I don't think you should use drugs or alcohol before 25. I know kids are going to do it regardless, but I don't think the legal limit should be below 25 because that's when your brain is done developing. So I don't think you should be able to buy weed or buy alcohol until you're 25, which a lot of people will fucking hate me for that, especially kids will hate me for that. But that's when their brain stops developing. That's when it's all set out and they can fuck up their brain however they want then. But as you're growing up, when you use drugs and alcohol or things that affect your brain, it's going to affect the chemical makeup of it until it's done forming.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I've always been this smart.
Or stupid, depending on how you look at it.
Sure.
Smart is
But
subjective.
I just turned 25, so maybe
That's
I'm not all the way there yet.
That's what I was getting to, was like an 18-year-old being allowed to do things. They just left their parents' house. They have no, in the majority, because obviously there's outliers and there's individual cases where a kid may have been on their own at 16 or 17 or whatever, and they may have more life experiences. But the general majority is, even if you join the military, regardless of where you came from or what was going on, you're just fucking stupid. Like, you don't have any concept of life and consequences and responsibilities and what decisions are going to impact you later on down the road, because you just came out of your kind of authoritarian, your parents had to agree with everything or give you permission to some extent. Like, you may have been in a freer household where your parents didn't care, but they were still responsible for you. And now you're on your own and you're responsible for things and you have no experience to base decisions off of.
At what age do you think we should they should be adults then?
I think being adults at 18 is fine, but I think, like Weddy, a lot of these things like tobacco and alcohol and all these other issues, you haven't experienced enough of life to understand and grasp any of the consequences. So you can go out and make a decision that could severely impact the rest of your life, and there's nothing stopping you from doing it unless you have somebody immediately around you that's gonna.
So you're almost advocating for less freedoms.
Oh, you crazy
Because like at 18, you should be like it's almost like
Kaylee, what the fuck are you doing?
On probation, where it's like your actions have to
What
be
the fuck?
monitored. Or
I think there needs to be more of a consistency in
What are you doing?
what is allowed. I think being able to join the military and
Thank you. You
like,
don't
go
have to
fight
do
for your
this. You can
country,
stop, you know.
register for the draft.
It's not
and
necessary.
all of, like, you can sign up for a loan and you can
8
sign up
bits.
for
Hell yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
all kinds of, like, you can get student loans for
Thank you so
hundreds
much
of
for the
thousands of
fucking other
dollars
biddies
if
and the
you're
gifted
gonna
subs. You're
attend a
going
school and
crazy
whatever.
today.
You can make all these decisions that you have no grasp of the impact on. It's just disingenuous. I think it's a system that seems to be set up to fail if you're not guided properly. And I think a lot of our focus in society is straying away from teaching children and guiding them to properly handle these decisions as they get older.
I think 18 is a good age to be an adult, because aside from like my biggest issues with is definitely with drugs and alcohol, just based on the scientific data, where we still have our brains growing and shit. Like the loans thing and the other thing, like you can teach that kid while they're with you about that kind of shit. And 18 is a really good age to be stupid and alone.
What Nathan's talking about is just education,
the
and
dog
we fix
doing?
that through like giving our kids better education. So that's
Yeah, and
my take on that.
that's partly on you though. I mean, your kid is
As a
your
parent,
kid.
you mean? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, it's your job to teach them. Like,
But
you can go to
I think
college, but you can have.
I think we could come together and be like, oh, yo, if we teach kids about taxes and like the value of a dollar, I think that couldn't be a bad thing. You feel me?
Yeah, I feel you.
Oh yeah, I think school systems are super fucked. Like
So, like,
I
go ahead.
left school at fucking 18. I haven't used trigonometry one fucking time since I left, but I've done taxes every single fucking year.
Mm-hmm.
And I still don't know what the fuck's going on. I still got to go find somebody else and have them fucking teach me and walk me through it, or do it for me to be able to do it.
What do you mean your shit's broken?
Yeah, there needs to be like a year-long class in high school on your like senior year saying this is how you do taxes. All right, because there's just so much of that shit that people don't know how to do. And there should be like basic life stuff. Like a lot of people don't know how to change tires. A lot of people don't know how to change light bulbs. These are like things that happen almost every day in life. Like just teach them a little bit of how to live instead of how to be a mathematician.
How to be victims.
How to be. Like, I don't want the school to teach my kid how to be a mathematician. I want them to go to college to learn how to be a mathematician. You know, that's college is when you kind of decide what you want to be. I feel like high school should be more like a general thing, like have automotive class, have math class, and have the kid be able to choose all these different things that they can go into.
It should be exposure.
Yeah, it should be more of an exposure thing in high school.
I think, and I think that changed with college getting so much of an emphasis. Like college has become such a harped on necessity in life over the past, I don't know, 50, 60, however many years, that like you're not going to be successful if you don't go to college, and that's just the standard as everybody gets out of high school and is expected to go to college.
Mm-hmm.
And so schools have become more trained to set you up for college, not for life.
Mm-hmm. I think.
Well, there you go.
I mean, I think these are all fair points. But
all right.
I mean, I think school is, but I do think school is fine though. I don't think we should change too much about school besides maybe like having like a class where it teaches like basic finances and taxes and things
Yeah, like home
that.
ec. Like home ec used to fucking do. Teach you how to
'Cause,
do
I
shit around the
mean-
house. Balance his fucking budget.
But
That's literally what they taught us.
listen,
And then they got cut. They cut the class, dude. They cut
how,
the. They,
how often in school did you ever do things that you deal with in real life?
Well, I don't think that's the point of school.
I
though.
think it
it's
kind of
like a-
teaches you
But
deadline
isn't it,
stuff
though? Like,
a little bit, like with homework and whatnot.
homework is
But
trash.
fuck homework, honestly.
Dude, it's a place
Homework-
you can go to get out of your
What?
parents' hair.
Yeah, I guess that's the. Yeah.
Let's if we're gonna do school as a topic, let's save a whole podcast for it.
Yeah,
because
that's a
I
whole nother
fucking
thing.
hate school, and
Mhm.
Probably
I will go to town
Mhm.
on this topic of school because I fucking hate school, and I hate everything that they try to do. So like, let's just save that one if we're gonna.
Yeah, we
We're
need to
gonna do
wrap this up
school.
anyways. We're gonna
Yeah,
need to
we gotta
It's about
save
an
that
hour
one
30
for
now.
another one because
be
school
ending this
makes me
podcast
angry.
here.
More than anything, school makes me angry.
So, anyone's got any last comments? Anything else that you want to bring up? Maybe save for another podcast.
The Bengals are going to the fucking Super Bowl. I'm gonna say
Anyone
it
else
10
that's
more
not
times.
Crazy. That's insane.
They're going to the fucking Super Bowl.
I can't.
Y'all
think
can
of
doubt
one.
it all year long. Everyone's doubted them all year.
I don't
All
doubt
year.
it, but I better never hear you like take up another team.
Dude, no, this is my team, bro.
That's not possible.
Bengals are
dude.
my team. I can be fans of players on other teams. I'm not a fan of the team. Fan of players.
What is it?
Different
The Boston
star.
Bengals?
No, the Boston Bengals. Hello,
Buffalo.
Buffalo Bengals?
Bengals.
the Buffalo Bengals. That shit, that kind of slaps.
No, it's the Brown Bengals, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right.
Oh, the
Boo Boo Bengals.
Seattle
The Boo Boo
Bengals?
Bengals. The Seattle Bengals.
Stop.
Yeah,
All
Tennessee's
right.
gonna win in your dreams, Kaylee.
All right,
In your
everybody.
dreams.
So that wraps it up for the 8th Diamond Dogs and Liquid Mods podcast. Thank you all very much for joining us. We had a very controversial topics today. What do you want?
I'm upset by Caesar claiming that Elon Musk is somehow a fucking antagonist and not a protagonist.
All right, bring it up next week.
Yeah, bring it
And
up
so
next
we have.
Got it.
And that's the end of today's
Ricky, do
podcast.
you
Thank
wax
you
your head?
all so much for joining us. We appreciate you all for being here, and we all hope you have a nice Diamond Dog Day.
Diamond Damn Day.
Diamond
Cheers.
Dog.
We should all go shave our heads.
Oh, shiny.
Nah, I don't wax it.
Dude, don't come in here with your deep, sexy daddy
Welcome.
voice like that.
I
What are you
know,
doing?
right? Who is this dude?
Came too late for all the good
I
stuff.
know.
Yeah, I came in mid conversation. I didn't know what
Whoa.
was actually going on.
Megatron, is that you?
Yeah, you're all sorts of fucked on your mic.
Who?
Who, me?
Yeah, you sound
Yeah.
terrible.
Well, that sounds fine for me.
No,
Who,
yeah.
Shotzi?
Oh
No,
my god.
He's all
looks-
sorts of.
Bad
He's
habits
downloading
to
our
the
fucking
lady
IP
night.
addresses.
He looks fine. We know that.
He's in the Matrix. Oh yeah, he looks fucking delicious. What am I gonna?
Thank
Do I have to restart my
Look,
stream? I do, don't I?
You need to go back to the island, go find fucking Johnny Ray and mollywop that
Yeah.
piece of shit,
Bring-
and tell him to get his bitch ass back on here.
Yeah,
Me
I
and
need.
Johnny Ray when Clay shooting.
Oh, now
last
I hear
weekend.
it's
Nah,
so
shit.
fucked.
I need
Yeah.
Johnny Ray in this call. Okay, it's not good enough.
Yeah, you need to go find him,
All right.
fucking steal his platoon, and then when he comes
He's
after him,
off
just
cycle now.
mollywop him and tell him to fucking.
He's
get-
not. He's not
He's not
fully
even
out
in cycle
cycle
right now.
He's
He's
like,
off cycle.
isn't he in the fucking? He told me he was in the fucking the new
Mike,
mix,
the camera, just work, please.
the mix sex.
Yeah, he got moved to 4th Battalion,
Yeah, he's in the mix.
Who said that?
but he doesn't pick up the next cycle into
Okay.
So what is
February
he?
11th.
We're gonna go ahead and end this right now. It is for just the podcast. I'm gonna end the fucking stream right now. However, I am gonna be playing some video games after this, so stay tuned. I'm just kicking the shit with the homies right now. All right, go get some fucking drinks, get some fucking food, smoke it if you got it. You already fucking know the deal. I'll see y'all in like 30 minutes tops. Be back here in 30 fucking minutes. Okay? Culprit, how you doing? I fucking love you, buddy. All right, I'll see ya. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
That this would be easy, but you're all I wanted. I never said that this would be easy, but you're all I wanted for so